Welcome back to Solo Adventures. My name is Livy, and I'm here yet again with another BGG Solitaire PnP contest game review. So today the game we're going to be looking at is Plug and Pray, which is a dice game about attempting to keep a server running under very stressful work conditions. So as usual, if you're not actually interested in watching me play this game, then you can feel free to skip to the end if you just want to hear my final thoughts. Otherwise, let's venture forth. So it's not too hard to get set up for Plug and Pray. We just shuffle our deck and we put 30 cards in our inbox and 30 cards in the draw pile. We have our 12 component dice in our container or bag. We have 2 D4s ready, and we have memory, AI, and offline chips to the side. We have our server set to offline. So that's what that means there. We line up the WOPR tokens here on these markers there. And we place each of the numbered Q-stack tokens in their proper place. Now we're ready to get started. So we are in charge of this server, and we are expected to already have it online and ready to serve the customers. As you can see, there are no actual components in our server yet, so that is a problem. In order to deal with this, we're going to have to stall the boss a little bit. And so in order to buy us some more time, we're going to promise to take on some more work. So we'll take 2 extra orders from the draw pile. And now this will allow us to take a personal action. Now the personal action that I'm going to do this turn is to request components. So I can choose 1 to 3, and this turn I want 3. So then I have to take on another 3 tickets of work. By the way, if this draw pile is ever empty, then we lose. And I randomly select 3 component cubes and I roll them. Alright, so I have a processor, Q-stack, and memory. The thing that we do not have, however, is an I/O hub, which is what we are going to need to actually turn the server on. So we can plug some of these in, but none of them are going to be functional. So the processors allow us to, of course, have a more powerful server, and it lets us draw more cards per turn. The memory will allow us to have memory that we can use to fill customer orders. And the Q-stack here will let us store customer data, which can be saved and then sold later for profit. We have to get $30 at least by the end of the game, or we lose. You can see there are little connectors on these faces. So this here is the universal connector, or the U connector. This is the, I believe this is the A connector, the one that has 2. And this is the B connector. It has 1. So the universal connector can connect to any connector, but the A's and B's can only attach to other A's and B's. These little lines that are coming off of the top of like the Q-stack and the processor represent heat. And that means that any component that is placed next to the radiating heat is not going to function and will be offline. So let's try to get us set up here. Put the processor there maybe. Or like that, there. See, I can't connect anything to this Q-stack once I have it hooked up. So I want to try to not cut off my possibilities here. This isn't so good. Now I think I'm going to get rid of the Q-stack and I'm going to attach the memory. So even though I paid for it, I don't have to use it. Then when we put the memory in place, we can put 3 memory tokens on top. And that is the end of the round. Our server is still offline, and the boss still expects it to be working, so let's stall some more. So we'll draw 2. And let's draw some more components. So I want 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, memory and an antivirus. So this antivirus will protect us against different kinds of viruses, and the virus that it protects us against is dependent on which way the arrow is pointing. So if it points this way, it prevents against DOS attacks, and this way for worms, and that way for ransomware. And these might pop up at some point and can wreak havoc in the system, so it's better if we have some. Let's put that there. This can go here. And that goes there. So we have lots of memory now. Still no power. So we're gonna have to stall the boss some more. All right, 3 more components. This time we've got to have it. Okay, finally, here we go. This is a very good one. It has 4 connectors. So I'll put that there, and now we are online. We have more memory again. And AI. AI will give us the AI token resource, which we can use to overclock the other components and make them work more efficiently, but the resource is limited. Let's put the AI there, and the memory can go here. All right, so now we'll finally be able to take on some customer orders. So now we have to do the company action, and we can finally use our 1 processor to draw 1 card. So at the beginning of our turn, we draw 1 card for every processor that we have, and then we pick 1 at random and discard the rest and provide quality customer service with the other one. And you can see on the back it'll either say standard or high priority. The high priority ones are difficult, and the standard ones are usually average. But our coworkers are pretty incompetent, so sometimes they're not labeled correctly. Let's see what we have to do. Processor 5. Okay, this is an example of something not labeled properly. It says, I know big customers like this should be set to high priority, but I forgot how to change the setting. Hope this helps. Test WOPR. So the WOPR server cycles are the company's servers, and we're not actually supposed to be using these, so we can get fired if we're caught basically stealing components from the company. But seeing as how we haven't used any of these, we have no trouble whatsoever. So then we have to test our WOPR because we failed this customer. So we roll 1d4, and the number we got is 3. We would have to have 3 or more WOPR chips on our board here, and we have them all, so we can't fail. We can use these basically as AI, but they are of course consumable and they do have a risk associated with them. And we discard this. Now if we like, we can take a personal action. I am going to try to buy 1 more component. So spend there. And that's another AI. Oh, I guess I could have used AI to... Oh, but yeah, I still would have needed at least 2 processors because I don't think I can put 2 AI on 1 cube. do I want to put this here? Then I can't fit a Q stack, so maybe I don't want that. I want to have at least one of those because some customer orders do require them. Info request, processors. Hi, I know big customers like this should be set to high priority, blah, 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 but they didn't. So we would need to give them some information from one of the Q stacks, and in this case it would have to be about processors. We do not have anything in the Q stack, so we now fail. And instead of getting a reward, which would have been $1 per processor that we have, now we have to choose high priority cards going forward. So even if we get multiple cards to choose from, now we always have to pick the high priority one going forward. Not super lucky. I'm going to try again. I really want a Q stack. Yay! There we go, I got my Q stack. So we'll put that there. As you can see, it puts off a lot of heat. But now I can store up to 10 cards here in the data bank. Worm attack. So we have a worm attack, but we have an antivirus for that, so no problem. We are not paid for it, however. So yeah, so it goes. Processor 2. We've picked up this retailer. They're pretty popular on the West Coast. Thanks for the help. We only have one processor, but I'm going to spend an AI to make it worth 3. And it is a processor value of 2 that's required. So we do fill this order, and we have $2. And this can go under here. Hi, got another customer. All the info you need is below. Thanks. Okay, I need processor power 4. I can't do that even if I spend one of these tokens, so I have to take the penalty, which is a random surge. So we roll with these 2d4s to decide where the random surge affects our dice. And 4-4. So it would have been there. We don't have any components there, so it's okay. So on our personal action, we can also create a random surge to destroy one of our parts. And I think I want to do that. I want to open up a bit more space over here for processors. Urgent. And then nothing. Memory 3. Well, we have memory, so here we go. And we get $3. I am going to try to get another component. As of now, this is not powered on because it's not connected in any legal way to this main power source. So this antivirus is inactive. AI again. Well, I can just stick it anywhere, really. It doesn't have to be connected. I mean, I can just kind of keep it in reserve if I want. So there it is, but it is not powered on. Worm attack. And our antivirus is not functioning, and so we are in trouble. Okay, so now we have a worm attack. So if we have a worm attack, then we have to roll the d4. And we got a 2. So we go to line 2, and we move our finger over, and the first component that we hit, we have to remove. So that is offline. That's back in the cup, and these are now both offline, and I've lost my data. Okay, I think we need some more components. So let's buy 3. All right, another processor. This is good. So I'm going to power this on. So that means that these two are functional again. And when they go back online, you get to refresh their resources. So I get 3 memory again. And I can put another Q stack here. Oop, wait, that does not go there. Here we go. Orientation is important. And let's hook up our antivirus. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Another worm attack. Haha, we are protected. Oh, we have 2 processors now, so we can draw 2 cards. And we have to pick the high priority one. DOS attack. We do not have an antivirus here, so we're going to have to roll. And we got a 1, so that means that the first component here, where we trace with the 1, is wiped out. And once again, our Q stack is gone. And this is offline. We are not making money. Two high priority ones, so I'll just pick a random. Hi, this is a huge client. They really need something important, and their question is below. So we need processor 6. That's insanity. I think I forgot to put the resources back on this. And if I'm not wrong, I mean, I hope I'm not cheating. I think I didn't put the resources on this. So I can spend 2 of these on these 2 processors to make them overclock. And now I have 6 processor power. And I get $6. So I have $11. Oh. Both of these are standard. Processor 2. We have 2 processors, so no problem. There's 1 high priority. We have a phishing attack and no antivirus, so we have to see how that goes. 3. So our Q stack is gone again. I think we need some more components. I'm going to buy 2. Another processor, so that's always good. And here's an antivirus. So put that there. And this can go here. Processor 1, no problem. Phishing attack, and we are protected. Oh wait, no, that was ransomware. We are not protected from a phishing attack. 4. Well, this was offline anyway, so it's not terrible. Info request, processors. I cannot give information because there's no Q stacks active, so we have a random surge. So we have 4 and 3, so 4, 3, and we're okay. But yeah, I definitely want Q stack, so I'm gonna spend 2. Getting down to the bottom here, I gotta be careful. And here's another power supply, so this is very good. Otherwise, if we lost that power supply, we would just automatically lose. Let's put that there. Processor 2, we have 3. Ransomware attack, and we're protected. I forgot to get money for this. Another ransomware attack. Oh, I'm so stupid. I keep forgetting to draw 3 cards. 3 cards. Okay. These are 2 standards and 1 high, so I have to take the high. I don't know WTF is the problem with this account. See if you can help them. It would be great if you can ASAP. LMK when you're done. TTYL. I need memory 2. So, there we go. In order to refresh these, I'm going to have to put them offline and then put them back online. All standard difficulty. Hi, sweetie. It would make me so happy if you could chat with this client. Processor 2. We have 2. $2. I want a Q stack, but we are very low. I'm gonna take a gamble with 2. Oh, we can't because there's only 1 die left, so never mind. Another processor. Well, suppose we can put that here. I mean, more processors don't hurt. Now we can draw 4 cards. But we have to take the high priority. Phishing attack. We are protected. Processor 6. Landed the biggest retailer in Europe. Lots of traffic, but a great client. Thanks for helping. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if we spend our last AI. So we get $6 for that. Standard, standard, high. Urgent. Again, nothing. Processor 6. We don't have that, and I don't feel like trying my luck with the WOPR token, so let's take our random surge. 3, 4. 3, 4. Nope. Processor 4, no problem. We get $4. I always have to fight the impulse to look at the cards. We have 3 high priorities in this batch, so we'll just pick one at random. Info request, viruses. No, we have no information, so we are going to have to test our WOPR, which is no problem because we are doing good there. High. More high priorities. Info request, memory. I don't have any information, and now I must choose high priority. That is not a problem. I already am doing that. And here's our last turn. Oop, I can't look. Oops. Okay, this is the only high priority. It's a ransomware attack. And 3. So we would take out this one, which would put a lot of stuff offline, but since this is our last card, it doesn't really matter. So now let's figure out our final score. So let's see what this says here. For the final score, we get 1 point for every dollar earned in superior customer service, 32. So we did win because we got 2 more dollars than we needed and we made it through our work. We get 1 point for every card that remains in the queue stack. Nada. 1 point for every component in the server room, which is 12. And subtract 2 points for every card that remains in the draw pile. You could have helped more people here today, so that is 4, so that's -8. That gives us a total of 36 points, so let's compare. 36. I don't care that this was your first day. If you do this little tomorrow, you're fired. Wow, tough boss. So I guess we didn't do so well. We just barely managed to squeak by. But anyway, so that was Plug and Pray. What did I think about this game? Let's talk about it. So as usual, let's break this game down. So we'll start with the build. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit intimidated when I saw that I needed 12 custom dice. I didn't have any blank dice at the time, so I had to go and get some, and I had to also get some label paper, especially for this project. But I suppose you could sticker up any old random dice that you have lying around. But yes, this game does require 12 custom dice, and I don't really think there's any way around it. So if you want to play this game, well, you've got to get yourself some sticker paper at the very minimum. The game also comes with tokens that you can either cut out as they are, or you could also print out on sticker paper and put on other tokens. But honestly, I think that the best way to make tokens for this game is to just have something clear and plastic to put on the top. And this is because if you have a sticker or anything that's opaque over the top of your dice, you're not going to be able to see the very important symbols. So you're going to have to be lifting it up and checking every so often. My transparent plastic bingo chips are really perfect for this, I think. I also think that transparent plastic bingo chips are probably the best way to go, because if you have transparent cubes, then you still have to stack 3 on top of each other and it might be a little bit wobbly. The aesthetic of this game is fine. I think the symbols could be a little bit more clear though on the dice. I have a very good laser printer and it still sort of looks a little bit blurry or smudgy. Maybe if all of these symbols were just a little bit larger, that would be good. There isn't really artwork aside from the symbols on the dice, but I do appreciate how the cards do look like old school, like fax machine paper. So that's cool. Oh, hi Strudel. Strudel's come to say hello. She's come here to upstage me again. Even though this game doesn't have a lot of artwork, it does have a decent amount of personality. The player board has also kind of that retro computer font, and I really do appreciate how there's flavor text on the cards. All of the cards do have some kind of flavor text on them, although I do think that the flavor text could have been improved a little bit. First off, some of the flavor text is identical from ticket to ticket, so just making them all different would have definitely been something. But maybe there also could have been just a little bit more story or flavor or something injected into the tickets. But this game is really funny. I like the idea of just being somebody who works for an ostensibly eco-friendly internet company, and the company really doesn't care about its employees and works them all to death and basically forces them to use extremely outmoded server parts. I think having more and more funny flavor text would definitely add to the feeling of this game. But speaking of flavor, within the manual you do have little sections here and there that are written as if it is a coworker kind of training you in for the job. So I do like that feeling, and I do like kind of that added level of almost immersiveness of feeling like you're really in over your head with what you have to deal with. I mean, I don't know how much worse it could be. When you get started working on the server, there is no server. There are no components. Your server room is empty and everything is offline. And you really have no choice but to stall for at least the first turn and probably the first few. But aesthetics and components and everything like that aside, how does this game actually play? Well, I do appreciate that it's a little bit different. It's a dice game, but it requires these custom dice to be lined up in almost kind of a tile matching sort of format. The amount of stuff that goes wrong and the little fires that are always popping up and you need to put out, and just the constant breaking down of everything really does lend itself to the feeling of working on a server that is just on its last legs. This game is driven a lot by luck, but I do like that there are some meaningful choices that you can make, particularly with are you going to request some more components? And there is, of course, the whole how can you line up the pieces to make the most efficient puzzle? So I would say that it's luck and strategy almost equally, maybe a little bit of edge to luck, but I think there's a really good mix there. Of course, I think it would really help to be familiar with all of the dice and what faces are on the dice to sort of help you plan ahead for what the probabilities are of getting any particular component. And that will probably happen in time. As tricky as this game can be, and as often as I feel like I'm failing and not fulfilling my orders properly, I didn't actually lose this game very often. I feel like I can squeak by with just barely a victory. Since this game does have a scoring system, you do have the fun of being able to go back and try to beat your high score, which I always appreciate. I feel like if a game has the ability to somehow give you a score, that it should, because that always lends to more fun. And a game that would otherwise not have as much replayability instantly has way more. And that's kind of how I feel about this game. Since, for me anyway, it wasn't really that hard to actually win, the appeal in coming back to this game would really just have to be coming back to beat my high score. Maybe I'm just really amazing at this game, but maybe the difficulty should be shifted up just a notch. Like, maybe you have to get $35 to win. As I said before, luck really does play kind of a large part in this game, and sometimes you can just get completely screwed over by the dice that you draw. Like, for example, you might just not get a processor the first several turns, and you're really behind because of that. Or, in my case, I had a hard time even just getting a queue stack and keeping it up and running, so all of the info requests were impossible for me to fill. There are just some things that you cannot control, and I guess that is pretty thematic, because, I mean, you are supposed to be working for this terrible company. So I guess it would make sense that you'd be requesting some more parts and components, and the higher ups are just like, yeah, here's some junk, take it. So, I mean, it's not really a criticism, but it is possible that you can just be really behind because of bad luck. Maybe this is the theme of the game, though, is being at the mercy of things that you can't necessarily control, about making the best out of a bad situation. Just as if you were given a really terrible job. There's a lot of things that you cannot control. The only thing you can do is to make the best with what you have. So I think in that respect that the theme and the mechanics line up beautifully. So what is my final verdict on this game? Should you play it? Well, I'm going to give the answer, and it is a resounding maybe. Now, if this game looks like it's fun and you don't mind putting in the effort to build it, then definitely check it out. If it were like really fast and really easy and somehow didn't require these custom dice, I would definitely say yes, build it and try it. But the fact is that you do need some dice and you do need some sticker paper, and it does take a little bit of time to get everything together. And not everybody has these little tokens that you can stack on top of dice. So if you don't have the components easily lying around, I guess this game is a little bit hard to recommend going out to buy all the parts for. But if you do in fact have all of the pieces lying around, and if it's not too much difficulty for you to cut out the little stickers and stick it on the dice faces, I think you could have fun with this game. But this game is not for everyone. If you really do not like things being outside of your control, if you really don't like the luck element, then you won't like this game. If you're somebody who's easily frustrated by things constantly breaking down and things that you've painstakingly built just falling apart and being destroyed, then this game might be a little bit too stressful for you. But if you really like the theme and you really like the idea of being somebody who manages a server for a very shady corporation, and if you like the idea of having some luck in this game, I think you'll have some fun. I like this game, it's fun. If you don't mind the construction and you have the parts lying around, then I would say definitely go for it and give this a build. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and if you like, you can check out my Patreon. You can also check out the group for all things solo gaming on Facebook. So until next time, my friends, stay adventurous.